Yo, what up, everybody? It's John Escudero, and I'm here once again with the gang. Say what's up, y'all. Say what's up. Nick?
What's up, y'all? It is Nick LaRocco representing old man, probably racist, Farmer Burns, but I'm not racist. Y'all love me. I'm here for you.
I'm Mac. I'm Curbside Hero. I'm always angry. Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Why are you always angry, Mac?
Relax, big dog.
Yeah, because there's two Bruce Banners inside me.
There are two wolves.
There are two wolves.
And those wolves are ready for the Spring Stampede 1999 show.
Yes, bro, put that graphic back on the screen. Look at that thing.
We're just going to leave it up the whole time.
That's incredible. Oh, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, fuck you.
There it is. That's it. That's going to be here the whole show.
Yeah, man. It's going to be Nick and Mac talking that shit this Friday about WCW Spring Stampede. Hell yeah.
That's crazy. Where'd it go?
Where did it go? But yeah, if you're up in the middle of the night, you're here to talk about some pro wrestling with us. How you doing? And if not,
Go to sleep.
You're listening on demand in the morning.
As if usual, you're listening on demand, go to sleep.
Probably listening to the audio version of this. Thank you for checking that out. Spotify, everywhere it's available. Well, it's been a week. We weren't around last week, and I was at WrestleDream.
John died.
On the fucking...
I thought you did because I didn't know we weren't doing shows, so I stayed up late.
I was like, "Fuck!" I couldn't set it up for me to be involved, and I was like, "Oh no!" So we couldn't get a WrestleDream going. By the time I got back to my hotel, I mean, it was kind of crazy. I basically took public transportation. I left. I mean, not that I have a problem with it. I drive buses for a living sometimes. But
Stolen Hogan on, brother.
I was driving. The Uber from the arena was insane. I was like, "Oh hell no! I will walk to the bus stop, and we will take a Seattle bus." And we did.
I was down. Excuse me. I was downstairs here last week at like 4 a.m. and I'm like, John.
Hello.
John, speak to me.
We, like I said, it was actually really nice. Everyone there was nice. There was a really nice lady who AEW, I guess she worked for the company, and she got dropped off, presumably a taxi or an Uber with about 12 boxes of merch. Clearly, merch, AEW merch. And I was like, well, that's interesting because she's very pretty. And I'm like, why would they leave this lady with all these boxes of merch? She's dressed very fancy, and she had on like a skirt. And every time she bent over to pick up a box, I was like, that lady should have worn shorts. Why was she in charge of this task? Like, who did this to this woman at this company? She wasn't dressed like she was meant to carry a fucking dozen boxes of merchandise. She had like platform shoes on and a really glittery skirt that showed her ass. So like, why was she doing this job?
Well, like there aren't like 100 wrestlers that could come out on standby to help out.
Like grown ass, big ass, large men, and there's this really pretty girl.
Where's Cheesecake during all this?
Yeah, like bro,
the fucking dude, the
Brian
dude from the.
Brian Cage could carry like 6 of those boxes himself.
No, seriously, but a dude from the AEW crew comes out on foot and walks up to her, and he's like, "Oh, well, let me go back and get a dolly." What the fuck do you mean? Let me go back and get a dolly? What do you think you were coming out here to get? This whole organization
couldn't at least take a box with you when you go back.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on here? Anyway, it was really nice. Tacoma Dome
stepped up, saved the day, and got free merch.
Yeah,
I did pick up that sweet jacket.
Yeah, is
apparently
this the Bryan Danielson jacket cast? Can we please only talk exclusively about the Bryan Danielson jacket?
Don't get me started. That shit was gorgeous. I thought it was gonna cost $200. It's only $125.
Seriously, if I had known that jacket was there, I didn't know. I saw the picture of you with it, and then I texted you, and I was like, dude, I need one of those. And you were like, yeah, they're gone. And you were like, oh, they're on the website after the show. And I was like, oh, cool. And I go to the website and it's like 5 available, all fucking small. Dude, I'm an XL. Come on.
It's wrestling, bro. All the larger sizes are going first.
Oh,
you know how that goes.
Oh, yeah. I didn't. That's very true.
I was worried as fuck even being at the arena, and I was there early because we thought, let's go to the merch stand. We didn't know there was gonna be a sick ass jacket, but I just thought, if I get there early enough, we can go to the merch stand and we can definitely get a Bryan Danielson shirt because it's gonna be his last day. And I didn't know they'd have that thing there, but they did. I definitely got one. Haven't worn it again. Don't know if I ever will, but I might build the whole outfit around it.
Show, right?
Oh yeah, I wore it at the event. I wore it the whole time. I felt like Bryan Danielson. It's got the design on the sleeves. I felt like putting my hands up all day. Like, yeah,
it's with you the whole time.
Let me do the yes chant and get fucking cease and desist by WWE.
You know what's funny? When they were doing the yes chant for him in AEW, I used to feel like weird, like, oh, leave that WWE shit. Where's that? But when I heard that WWE wanted to take it from him, like in his retirement tour, now I'm like, it feels a lot. It feels like doing that shit. Like, fuck that. Like, that feels great. It felt great to yes during Bryan's last career match. But yeah, I guess we'll get into WrestleDream in a little bit. I wanted to talk about some things, some of the news, as we do here on Tertiary Radio.
Hey, I got some news to talk about right now.
Preganto, Nick is pregnant.
Look. Hey, listen, I'm on the Shop AEW website, pregnant and all. I'm looking for the next onesie. And I was, of course, looking at the Danhausen section, right? Okay. Tell me why there's the Danhausen mystery box available for pre-order.
What the fuck would you do with that?
I don't know.
Why?
Why are they still selling things for him? Where is he?
I was going to say, what does he even work here?
They make sure like one of the top lines says all merchandise is owned by All Elite Wrestling.
That's great. That's incredible, actually. Why do they have him? Like, just let him go, or just let him go be with CM Punk or whatever it is he wants to do. I want to be Larry or whatever he is.
I hit view roster on Shop AEW. Has it always been like this, where their name is Abaddon the Monster?
No, I don't think so.
No.
That might be a newer change for them.
That's really cool for them.
Good for them.
But I guess to get into the stuff of the week, I had today's interesting news, which was Wrestlevotes came out on their podcast, and they had said that there was some talk of Brock Lesnar returning to the WWE. And then about a few hours later, Fightful came out, and they were like, WWE sources claim to them that they have not started any talks with Lesnar, or that they had not heard at their level, at their sources level, anything of Brock Lesnar discussions. But I thought that was really interesting verbiage, because that implies that another department could talk to Brock Lesnar, and that this department could possibly just not know about it. So yeah, I mean, I was like, oh, well, that doesn't really clear things up. but it's presented.
Sounds very WCW of them,
right? But it was presented as sort of a quote unquote rumor killer. But it was very WWE. Let me read the Let me pull up the Patreon and read the report, word for word, so that they can't say they got misrepresented. Fuck it. But essentially, there was a lot of back and forth today about whether or not it was ethical to bring Brock Lesnar back to the WWE. And I thought that there were a lot of good points on both sides. I hate saying that because I sound like I'm fucking justifying Nazis or whatever. There were a lot of good people on both sides.
Oh no!
there were a lot of good points on both sides, and I felt like we could talk about that, but I didn't want people to get mad if I brought up certain things that made sense to me. But so the report 13 hours ago, Fightful Select posted, Brock Lesnar has been out of action for well over a year, and there are no plans for him to return right now, at least per sources within WWE. Rumors emerged today that Brock Lesnar and WWE have been in talks, and the company was considering bringing him back. That was denied within the company on a high level, with one source saying there are no creative plans in place for Lesnar, and if conversations have occurred, we've not been briefed on that. That's the part that made me question. You know,
that's kind of word salad. You know,
right?
Scramble it up.
But look, let me just say this about Brock. Like, with all of the shit that's going on with like the lawsuit and him reportedly being involved, I just think that the WWE in the state that it's in right now has evolved past Brock Lesnar. Like, what's he going to come back and do? Like 30 suplexes, an F5, a Brock lock, and then go away for another 6 months and come back? Like, I think the WWE and wrestling as a whole, like, has evolved past the whole Brock Lesnar thing. Like, yeah, there's guys he can come back and feud with that a lot of people consider like dream matches, like, you know, Bronson Reed or Braun Breaker and, you know, and stuff like that. But I just think it's a Brock Lesnar represents a bygone era of WWE, kind of like when Vince left. Like, I just think it's evolved past him. We don't need him anymore.
I still appreciated your shout out to the Brock lock.
The Brock lock.
Yeah. That took me back. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if I agree with that. Well, I guess you preface the whole thing by saying yes, he was named in this fucking lawsuit, and as long as he's named in it, and until he's cleared, like officially, you know, until some words come out that say, you know what, we've decided that Brock Lesnar has done nothing wrong, then I understand why he's not on television, and you're not gonna catch me saying they're doing anything wrong or like that. Oh, this is bad. They should bring him back. They need to bring him back. I get it, and I'm not fucking dumb.
Yeah, he's not like as hefty on there like a John Laurinaitis, but he's still very much a major part of a lot of things. And with the companies, you know, dealing with the fallout from, you know, the Netflix documentary still, and with all the pending litigation from someone that's been so synonymous with them for their entire lifespan, it's kind of a rough deal right now.
To his credit, it is he's like on a peripheral, you know, like he's involved on a peripheral level. Like he's not in the middle of it, you know, like Vince or John Laurinaitis. I don't want to get into the details. I mean, I feel like you can read up, and you should read up if you want to have the conversation about it.
Stay informed.
Then you should read up on the lawsuit and maybe see what is actually being said, and then you'll understand why they're like, well, maybe we can bring him back. But I'll just say that it's more peripheral than anything. He wasn't like an aggressor. He's just like a dude who's like there, you know, like, well, you're named, you were there, you know what happened, you kind of took part or whatever. But so that is that. But I wouldn't agree that that WWE's moved beyond the need for Brock Lesnar. I think wrestling can move beyond the need for anybody. I think when you have fucking Will Ospreay out there, what do you need the Big Show for? But as long as they have an attraction, people want to see them. People want to see Brock Lesnar. People are always going to want to see Brock Lesnar. I think if he was cleared, I would want to see Brock Lesnar. I would not. He's here under Vince is also gone. So that Vince Brock Lesnar booking, I don't believe we'd see that. I think we'd see a little bit different of storytelling with Brock the Monster here, but also I'm not like, it's not like they need him, right? They're not hurting for him, so there's no real danger of them rushing to bring him back while it's still unethical.
Now, let me ask you something, John. Do you think that maybe, like, say if this turns out to be true, say if the Brock
it's true. I just need them to
say
he's not in trouble anymore.
Well, yeah, I know, but say he, let's just hypothetically, do you think that even though he denied it on Twitter the other day or Instagram or one of them, I don't remember, Do you think these rumors are surfacing because there was the rumor that came out the other day that The Rock informed WWE that he might not be able to wrestle at WrestleMania 41? Because this came out conveniently very soon after that report came out the other day.
The Rock himself kind of addressed
He
it.
did. He said it was
Instagram.
bullshit. Yeah, he
Yeah.
said it was bullshit and don't read the sheets and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. Like this is coming out very, very like soon after the rumors of The Rock might not be able to make it. Blah 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 blah. So
it could also always be like a theoretical, hey, let's gauge how fan interest is online and see where that goes.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of that. I think it's that's exactly what I think it is. We're just kind of testing the water to see how people are reacting. And I think that the more time goes on, the more that you are seeing more people are accepting of Brock making a comeback. I think a lot of people I speak to don't even a lot of people don't believe he did enough wrong to not be on television. Some of them cite that he still has a job, and if he had done something so wrong, why does he still work there? And theoretically, why is he getting paid?
There's a lot of people that don't even know that he's involved in this lawsuit.
Yeah. Well, then there's the people that aren't really paying attention, right? Because that was a big ass. Yeah, that was a big ass detail.
No, it was. But I mean, you know me. I'm scouring the internet all the time, looking at stuff to post on Dirt Sheet Radio, my personal Instagram. And I see a lot of people going like, "What? What are you talking about? What is he involved in?" And I'm just like,
Listen, I guess
you under a rock,
I guess if you want to be like, if you want to like be a lawyer or whatever, there was like, it's not like his name was on it, right? It was just that it was very heavy. Yeah. There was nobody else it could have been with the detail.
Longest implication. Yeah. Because especially to the part where it was like a former UFC fighter, which literally could have been Brock Lesnar or Ronda Rousey or Matt Riddle.
It was Matt Riddle the whole time, bro.
Oh no.
Part-time Matt Riddle. It was like it was a UFC part-timer, and it's like there's only two options there.
It was.
Tells me it's not Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. So that if they wanted to bring that up, then you technically be correct, but also like if you look at the details, So yeah, I thought it was really interesting that even came out. I don't believe that it came up out of nowhere, though. I will say, Wrestlevotes twice now put on some shit prematurely, recklessly giving Sean Ross Sapp the ability to lay them up.
Was that was the Wrestlevotes the Lucha Brothers thing?
Yeah. They said WWE was working on merchandise for them, which could be right. It might not be wrong. It could still be
concepts and renders ready to go at least.
Kind of feels a little sneaky, but
I love the idea that they just have like a whole list of like concepts and renders ready to go for like any wrestler outside of their domain.
I want to see what those Will Ospreay t-shirts look like.
Report. Wasn't there a report out the other day that WWE and Triple H are still pissed that they didn't sign Will Ospreay?
I don't know, but I'm sure that they'll be waiting for him on the next one for sure. But if we're talking about contracts, Jordynne Grace, according to Fightful, has this is really funny to me. Her contract with TNA was up in the summer of 2025, and she had it amended to expire just prior to the Royal Rumble next year.
Yo, dog, can I quit sooner?
How does that? If you're TNA, where do you win in this? Like, what are you getting in return? You think they got paid, or you think they were like some bend over, fuck me in the ass shit just happened here? Like, they just spread their cheeks without anybody asking them to.
What is it about TNA being in these types of partnerships where like they give their partner absolutely everything and they get like nothing in return?
Oh yeah, Tatum Paxley's gonna be on Impact.
Oh yeah.
While we take your women's champ, the biggest fucking draw in the company.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. We'll leave you with Joe Hendry for a couple extra months.
Yeah, we have a trade. We have a trade offer for you. We get Zachary Wentz for like 3 months, and you get Wendy Chu on Bound for Glory. I'll take it.
Jesus, you get What was the other one? They got one of the girls that I didn't even. They got Sol Ruka, which was good. Okay, Tatum Paxley, Wendy Chu.
Carmen Petrovic.
But this is like they're getting a bunch of developmental talent and they're giving away Jordynne Grace. What are you getting? Like,
John, are you telling me that are you telling me that Izzy Dame is not a draw?
Izzy Dame. Where's AJ Styles? Where the fuck?
AJ, oh dude, did you hear AJ Styles? Well, at least he said it on Twitter. Someone was like, "Oh, AJ big faking the injury." He's like, "Dog, I thought my bone was popping out of my foot when I took my boot off."
Sheesh.
Yeah. The injury that he described at his age, I'm not sure that AJ Styles is going to be getting back in the ring anytime soon. If that is not just a work, but it kind of seemed like it wasn't.
Let's remember he's heavier too, and he bulked up, so a leg injury is even worse.
He was doing nothing for all that time except for working on house shows, and WWE did not even send him down for a single fucking Impact. Like, fuck you. Oh, Impact didn't ask. They weren't using AJ Styles, and everybody knows what AJ Styles' legacy is. Like, that could have been a, hey, did you guys want to use AJ? We know we're using Jordan in the Royal Rumble. And this is crazy to me. I need to know the details of this partnership for TNA to not. Just look at this shit. They amended her contract to end in January so she could show up in the Rumble. She could have been in the Rumble while she was still in TNA, like they did this year. Like, oh, then they still get all the buzz. They get all the fucking logos on TV and all that shit.
So the AJ Styles tweet, somebody said, "I don't buy AJ Styles is actually injured. The whole thing is based off people's word." And someone said, "This injury ended running back's career and took Cam Newton's career in 2016." And AJ said, "It's called a list frac injury. Look it up. It sucks. I thought when I took off my boot, there was going to be a bone sticking out of my foot. As the kids say, I'm cooked."
He said, "I'm cooked." He's cooked. There's nothing really to say about that. I mean, the AJ thing is weird. I didn't want to make it a story because I'm still not sure. Just like that guy in the tweet, there was a lot of things on the television show that were very Angle-esque. But the report claimed that he actually did get injured when there was already Angle booked for him to play injured.
So yeah, they said that the lion salt like type move, the backflip where he landed on his ankle, was supposed to be the worked one, and it was worked. They said, but when he gave the Ushigoroshi to Carmelo Hayes over the knee, that's where they said he actually got the injury.
Yeah, you could watch the way like the knee just kind of shimmies itself, and it's like, wow, that was brutal. Like, there's no way you can just easily fake something like that.
Yeah. He finished the match, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, they called it. Yeah, they called it. Remember, he was laying in the corner.
I thought they went like right to. I guess they didn't.
No, because backstage, Andrade, he said to Andrade, he goes, "You see that win?" And he goes, "You think that was a win?" Or he said it to Aldis. He goes, "You think that was a win?" He goes, "Hey man, I got my hand raised." And he goes, "A win is a win."
You see, all that stuff is the kind of shit that makes me not want to believe the fucking Angle.
Yeah.
But
the thing too is like AJ Styles, one of those like old school guys, like a Cody, like a Danielson, where like they are gonna go out of their way to lie.
It's the most fun part about being a wrestler, right? You get to just complete bullshit, completely bullshit your whole fucking life.
But but getting back to Jordynne Grace, like, so say if Jordynne Grace was going to make in that period, so say if her contract expired in August and she's leaving in January, maybe she negotiated something like, okay, you don't have to pay me the last year of my deal, just let me out of my deal. You get 4 months, like I don't get paid for those 4 months. Just take the whole year,
That feels illegal.
I don't think that's allowed.
Something about that feels illegal.
Well, I mean, dude, if they're willingly like letting her leave, like 5-6 months early, or 7 months early, like something's going on here, dude.
Maybe WWE bought it out. Maybe they paid off.
Possible, yeah.
Right, the rest of the contract, because it says amended, but they don't have the details on how. Like, there's no legal way for you to be like, hey, could you just Could you just fix it? Like, you have to go through a whole team of lawyers and draw up a whole new paperwork and shit.
Yeah.
You know?
WWE's like, hey, TNA, turn around for a second. They just ripped up the contract, and they're like,
Essentially.
where'd that contract go? There was
Oh
never a
no! When they
contract.
told them turn around, they were setting up for something else.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He said, "Turn around." What are you? Whoa! The report also said that Jonathan Gresham's TNA contract is set to expire at the same time. Jonathan Gresham apparently made good impressions within the WWE in the past, but the Fightful hasn't heard if there's any interest in him.
Yeah, he made good impressions with WWE by telling AEW to go fuck itself when they made him drop the title in the first match.
He ended up, I don't know if that was the best career move, but we'll see. Maybe there's still another, maybe WWE picks him up and it ends up good. But as of yet, it wasn't the best move to do what he did. What number was he on the PWI 500 this year, by the way?
Oh, geez, I don't know. Let me look. Hold on.
Good question. He does feel like he would fit in pretty nicely in the modern WWE system.
I think he'd be a very good NXT coach. But
yeah,
like, you know, like if they plucked him into the Drew Gulak spot, that'd be pretty cool.
Because he can, I can see that he can still go, and you know he's definitely got an amazing shape. You know, Triple H still 100% is a body guy.
Yes, he is.
Like Vince, you'll seek Triple H at every Mr. Olympia, 100%, and I could see Gresham being a huge body draw just for Triple H.
Whoa. Hold on 1 second. Let me see.
What's that? What'd you find there, Kitty Mac?
Scared.
Hold on. I don't
Breaking news?
No, hold on. I don't think.
Oh, God.
Right. Hold on. Let me just keep looking. I don't think
Mac's got a source here.
Well, while Mac looks for that, I did want to mention, like, I want to be clear. Like, I like Jonathan Gresham, and I want things to work out. For him, I thought that it's a goddamn shame that he never got to wrestle Bryan Danielson. I laugh looking back when he challenged, like, I'm the Ring of Honor champion and I want to fucking challenge the legends of Ring of Honor, CM Punk and Bryan Danielson. And now, like, both of those matches are impossible. So that never happens for him. But then if the reports of the way he broke up with AEW are true, it's like, damn, that was kind of silly, man. Like, the whole thing about PW Insider, him citing his ranking, like, you can't do this to me type deal. Like, look at me. Look what number I am in the PWI 500. No. Oh, gosh. I don't know if that's true or not. I want to say that because I don't believe the sheets. But fuck you. That's a funny ass story, man. I can just imagine him with the magazine, like, really angry. Look at my page.
Working yourself into a shoe.
All right. So, in 2023. Well, 2022, sorry, he was ranked number 10.
There it is.
Then in 2023, he dropped to 118 from number
Jesus
10.
Christ, bro. Could you imagine?
Wait. But wait, there's more.
Oh, no.
So he went from 10 in 2022 to 118 in 2023 to 276 in 2024.
Holy shit. I don't think he can bring that into the office anymore.
Bro,
one of the wildest drops ever.
Listen to this progression. Listen to this degression, okay? Well, first, 2017, he was 338. 2018, he was 392. 2019, he was 368. 2020, he went from 368 to number 49. Then in 2021, he went from 49 to 20. Then from 20 to 10, then from 10 to 118, and from 118 to 276.
Fuck. And again, I just don't know if blowing up over that was worth it. And I don't know if it ended up right. I wonder what I would have done in that situation. I don't know. From the report, it's that he blew up and it was a really loud thing. And then the report is that Tony Khan chased him down to apologize to him after being screamed at. So it's like, God damn it, Jonathan. God damn it.
Look what you did, Jonathan.
Look what you did. So, I mean, I hope the WWE thing works out. I really do. Because that's about all he has left. Otherwise, Jordan's about to be the breadwinner. It be that way, man. My wife's in the military. She can pay a lot more than I do. Jonathan Gresham's gonna be just like Jonathan Escudero.
Use you guys together, you get Ryan Ward.
We stick together, man. Fuck you,
Jonathan Gresham.
Oh God! Now I have to move on forever. Speaking of Pro Wrestling Illustrated and rankings, we have
Miz was 441 in 2003.
Miz was 441
in 2003.
He was wrestling in 2003.
That was what was wild to me, but yeah, UPW.
Wow. Well, you know what? UPW used to fucking produce some motherfucking stars, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
Shit,
Gresham's about to take that 276 to UPW and go, look at this. I should be booked.
Help me out.
Hey, this year Miz was also 281.
Well,
Miz?
He's in some company.
Feels like it's kind of crazy for somebody on TV. That's when you get to be 281, you just be like, Pro Wrestling Illustrated doesn't matter, bro. That shit is okay.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look at this. Like, Jonathan Gresham's actually in front of Commander, The Miz, Kofi Kingston, the leader himself, Sami Callihan.
It's not bad. It's just crazy when you consider like the basis. The basis of his argument was I'm number 10 on the PW Insider. Like, I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure he brought. I bet you that was like a list of things. I've done this, I've done that. I'm number 10 in the PW Insider, Pro Wrestling Illustrated. It's like, sorry, Jonathan. So I'm gonna need you to drop that belt in 10 minutes. Is that okay with you?
Listen, man. I was going to Beyond Wrestling shows back in like 2017, 2018. You'd being booked against some really like legit stars. He was like beating like Zack Sabre Jr. He was beating Dijak. He was beating Ciampa.
He was a big deal. He was a very big deal.
And that was the perfect opportunity. Like, dude, every Beyond show I went to, it was like Gresham versus Gargano, Gresham versus Biff Busick, Gresham versus ZSJ. And I'm like, damn, why isn't this guy bigger? And maybe we found out why.
I mean, John, remember when we went on?
That's not fair. He's fucking short guy.
Oh, don't do that. John, do you remember, what was it like we went on True Heel Heat and we were doing like Ring of Honor draft?
Yeah.
Like, it was a battle for whoever could draft Jonathan Gresham for number 1 because like he was that just integral at the time.
When AEW bought Ring of Honor, I was certain that Jonathan Gresham had a great spot in the company. And it disappointed me to no ends to hear what happened. And it's like, damn, you could have feuded with Claudio, brother. They could have looped back to you, big dog. Like, Jesus Christ, why did you get so flippy about it? Anyway, he's all right. They get paid. They get to go be buff together. And his wife is number 2 on the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Women's Top 250. It's not the same as the PWI 500. It's like the PWI 250. That doesn't hit the same, but it is what it is. The top 10, as it is, it was number 10 is Athena, number 9 Mariah May, number 8 Willow Nightingale, number 7 Bailey, number 6 Sari, number 5 Stephanie Vaquer, number 4 Micah, number 3 Rhea Ripley, number 2 Jordynne Grace, and number 1 Timeless Toni Storm. That's your top 10. Fellas, what are we thinking here? Is anybody up here that doesn't belong here? Is there somebody here who shouldn't be? Is somebody not here who should be here?
Can I just explain to the people on the Dirt Sheet Radio comment section that Mercedes Moné was not eligible because she did not wrestle the number of matches allotted to be on the PWI 250 between July 2023 and July of 2024. She is not on the list because she sucks. She's not on the list because she's a troublemaker. She just didn't qualify.
Because I guess I understand the way they're the way they're chosen. There's like a kayfabe aspect to it, so they're looking at the championships, they're looking at how many wins, they're looking at how much they're on TV, how important they are.
Yeah, impact to the whole promotion itself.
Yeah. So I understand how Rhea Ripley got to number 3. But part of me wants to swap. Like, I definitely want to swap her with my like this. Don't pay. Like, my heart doesn't accept this. Like, but I get it. She was the top WWE girl. And if
but,
you,
but she didn't wrestle from January to July, John.
I know. But she was so important to the goddamn show, like all the way through.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to go off on a tangent about Rhea Ripley. I don't think she's a bad wrestler at all.
Liv Morgan was number 11, by the way.
Liv Morgan at 11. Honestly, that's fine. That's good. That's great for her, actually. Rhea Ripley is not a bad wrestler, but of course, like you said, she hasn't wrestled all year, so she's just been involved in stories. And then when she finally did get back in the ring, excuse me, fuck, I'm yawning. When she finally did get back in the ring with Liv, it was like a stinky match, and I was like, oh, you know. So right now,
should have been.
I don't think that's because of Rhea, though.
No, I don't think it's her fault either. But at the same time, it takes 2 to tango.
Yeah.
They be tangoing, they're stepping on each other's feet. But the feud is still going, and it's the biggest fucking feud in the WWE. And I'm trying not to be down on it, but it is starting to grate on like.
Yeah, it's starting to. It is
so
starting
much
to drag. Yep.
It's the same shit every week.
It's literally like, go watch like 1998 WWF. It's the same thing where it's like, oh my gosh, it's Rock and Shamrock again. I know we look back at that feud fondly, but like at the time, it's like, oh, again.
The weekly stuff, I swear, if you pluck out the good segments, you'll be like, wow, it was such a great time. But if you actually watch week to week, it's fucking monotonous.
That's why people look at the Attitude Era rose-colored glasses, because all they think of is a 24/7 hardcore rule.
Because they watched that shit on DVDs when they were 7. They saw fucking Attitude Era compilations. They watched all the Austin segments in the fucking row.
Cut out.
Dude, I was 12 to 18 when the Attitude Era was like at its peak. So I was watching that shit every week, and it was just like 15-minute promo, two-minute match. Austin comes out.
You see pictures of the oddities, and you're like, well, that's interesting. But if you watched their segments, they were over as fuck, actually.
They were. I was gonna say, I'm like, yo, go back to the '99 Rumble. Like, holy crap,
Wait, Nick, did you see that they're putting out a Golga figure and he has a plain white shirt, no Cartman, no nothing?
They should have done whatever it took to work out a deal for something.
I try never to do this, but you know what? AEW would have done it. AEW would have got the fucking partnership for that figure, bro. I look at those Street Fighter figures. You know what I'm saying?
It's not like they forgot about South Park. Literally, go and watch the NXT credits. It's the same font.
All of the fucking WWE credits are definitely South Park credits.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's just my little Rhea Ripley rant.
Honestly, when I look at the top 10, I feel like Athena should just be a little bit higher.
Now, I said that the other day, but I think Athena would be higher if she wasn't wrestling behind a paywall.
That's true.
That's true. I think that's the biggest thing, because if it wasn't, paywall of honor, like I guarantee she'd be like 7 or 8 at this.
Now, you know what's funny? You know what's funny about Athena? So people were, I don't know if it was on Instagram or Twitter, but people were complaining the other day saying she doesn't defend her title that much. And she's like, and she did the math, and I think it was like 253 divided by like 15 ended up being like 29.5. And she's like, I am well within the 30-day range of defending my title. You leave me alone. I was like, yeah, you go, girl.
Listen, she's getting paid. She's wrestling, and that's great. But I think it's a little ridiculous now. It's been years. It feels like.
It's the tribal queen.
But John, if you remember, when she was on AEW television, she was losing all the time. She was losing to Serena Deeb. She was losing to Jade. She lost to Jade twice. So they really weren't doing anything.
Yeah, but that was years ago. Like, it's time. It's time.
Dude, it was time when she should have lost the belt to Billy Starks at Final Battle. Like,
it's not even that I want her to lose the belt. I just want her to be on Dynamite. Like,
right?
Yeah.
fuck. Like, okay, there's the thing that, oh, well, she's a draw for Ring of Honor. And it's like, well, I don't know how true that is. And also, Mark Briscoe is the Ring of Honor World Champion, and he is heavily featured on AEW Dynamite every fucking week.
They're doing a fucking Ring of Honor ladder war on Dynamite.
Insane. He brings a whole ass Ring of Honor story with him.
Wasn't he also like just one of the near main events for the WrestleDream?
Yes.
Yeah, he's in my main event. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Athena could be on television. There's
It
no
was the
reason.
penultimate match
Listen,
with the original
they had
champion of AEW.
They had her fight Queen Aminata, I think it was at Supercard of Honor in April. And that match fucked incredibly hard. Like, it was so good. And then they brought Queen Aminata to like AEW television. I was like, well, no, you could have done both.
I get it. Amos says he thinks Athena likes being in ROH, and maybe they shouldn't rush dropping the belt because she is a draw for the ROH women's division.
Oh,
I also think she's the only thing that they have that feels like it belongs to Ring of Honor. But
they have Red Velvet. She's the Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion. She's been killing it. She's having like a hardcore match.
I still couldn't get over that she won that.
Yeah. She's she was training with fucking Bryan Danielson, so she
that was a good match she had too.
Yeah, and like, so you got like Diamante, you got the Renegade Twins. Well, just one Renegade, so just Ren, and you got a lot of good women's wrestling. You got Vita Van over there. Queen Aminata jumps back and forth, like, but the two girls that you had that you could have dropped the title. That Athena could have dropped the title to, Billy Starks and Queen Aminata. You already did that match.
That first year, they had built up heavy into the Willow Nightingale title match, and I thought for sure Willow was gonna win. When she lost, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Well, now they're doing a thing where she demoted Billy Starks back down to a minion, and Billy Starks is kind of like not cutting her hair, and she's like snapping and in the middle of matches and stuff. So. Hopefully,
it's horrible.
Hopefully, they do something,
But yeah, man, that is that's our Pro Wrestling Illustrated top 250.
We didn't even talk about Toni Storm.
Oh, we didn't talk about Toni at all. Some of that goes unspoken. We know, there's no debating that she belongs at number one. Everybody knows why. She was the best AEW story of the year, basically.
Yep.
Completely went viral numerous times.
Yeah.
Best gimmick of the goddamn in the world, honestly. There's every reason she has to be number one. And that's why you usually see you usually see WWE and AEW fans going back and forth like, oh no, fucking Toni Storm was number one. It should have been Rhea Ripley or whatever. You didn't see none of that this year. Everybody just collectively understood. Like Toni Storm, that makes sense.
The rare understanding between wrestling fans. That was just like earlier tonight, where we had Shelton Benjamin come out, and everyone's like, I'm glad to see Shelton Benjamin finally get his chance out there.
It's the truth. I could talk about that forever. You should go watch the Dynamite recap show. But Shelton Benjamin, oh boy, I'm very excited to watch his future in AEW.
Did you hear what Juice Robinson said about Toni Storm the other day? Someone asked him about Toni Storm. He said, even though she comes out on television in black and white, she is very colorful and she brightens up my life.
Yeah, you better say that.
I'll be right back, boys.
That's much nicer than I thought he was going to go. The Juice Box.
Pro Wrestling this past weekend, Zack Sabre Jr. finally becomes the IWGP Heavyweight Champion of the world.
That was another moment where people just across the board were like, good for him. He deserved it.
Finally, honestly. It's a damn shame that it took this long, and it took until all the top people in New Japan were gone for him to finally get that moment.
And he defeated Naito that has no knees anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say, at least he got the win over Naito, and it was like one of the people from that generation. The Okada, Tanahashi, Naito AJ Styles interchangeable fourth spot. But it's a damn shame it took this long. But I'm happy that we finally got here. Now he'll get to go to the Royal Quest show in the UK as champion. Very big moment for him. Essentially, what else can you say other than why did it take this long? But I'm glad that we're here. And what are we doing for Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty? Because, for the last few years, the G1 winner would have challenged at Wrestle Kingdom. But he has already done it. Challenge, he's used his shot, and he won the belt. So that leaves a lot of intrigue for what's going to happen on January 4th and 5th.
I totally forgot he won the G1, and that's why he got the title shot, because, usually they don't do the title shot this early. It was very unconventional.
I still think about how Wrestle Dynasty, the only people booked for right now are the Bucks.
Bro, did you see the dude on Twitter was like, yeah, I was in the building in the show that they announced the Bucks, and like there was no reaction in the building. I was like, oh, that's disappointing.
I don't think it sounded like it on the fucking show. I mean, they reacted like they were horrified. Oh shit.
Oh shit, they're coming back to ruin our tag division.
Yeah, I mean, it's more like a kayfabe thing, though. It's not like the Japanese crowd is legitimately doesn't want them there. It's just like the evil Young Bucks, like they were evil when they were here. They've never been good.
No, dude. I mean, I love the Young Bucks. Like the Young Bucks are so good, man. I just love them.
I think that they are actually really. I love the Young Bucks. I think they're one of the greatest tag teams of all time. But I think today I was like, man, they wrestled. They wrestled the hard style. They're on the top 5 easy. I mean, look at the creation of AEW. Like, come the fuck on. Like, they existed without the machine for so long. Like, one of the top acts in the world. Hot Topic. Like, come on, bro. If you were there in 2018, they don't get to talk about what the Young Bucks did for pro wrestling and tag team pro wrestling.
I will admit, when I saw them as like Generation Me, I was really into them, and that's what kind of like was the precipice for me, where I'm just like, oh, okay, these guys are good, real good, and then I see what they can do later. I'm like, okay, they're actually truly great.
Nick, there is nobody, in my opinion, that is better than getting their ass kicked than the Young Bucks.
That being said, they wrestled a hard style for a long time, and now they're old. And now they pay for it.
Old Bucks.
And so they don't it's not like, they're not wrestling like the Young Bucks all the time, but they're also not wrestling all the time. So I'm like, maybe it kind of feels like they're holding the tag titles hostage. Not that they have any input on that, but on TV, the fact that they have them. Until this week, that is, where the entire fucking episode of Dynamite ended up like built around the tag team division. It was like 6 segments building stories for tag team wrestling. I was like, oh shit, they just went heavy with that. About to shut my ass up.
If I put you on the spot right now, assuming that Zack Sabre Jr., which he probably will, defends the title against Sonata, who do you have him fighting at Wrestle Kingdom?
Definitely not Sonata, hopefully.
No, but he's fighting Sonata at Royal Quest.
Okay, well, who else were they building up this year is Yota Tsuji. Lost his shot at Naito, which I really thought he should have won.
Advantage of note, Power Struggle November 4th, ZSJ versus Shingo Takagi.
That would have been such a great Wrestle Kingdom match. I don't expect them to drop it to Shingo either. I hate that Shingo spins his wheels in New Japan, because he's like one of my favorite wrestlers in the world. Forever. I love to say I knew Shingo before everybody did. We were watching Shingo in Dragon Gate long before he was in New Japan. I remember when they brought him in New Japan, and I was pissed because they had him working as a fucking junior heavyweight. I was like, how could you push Shingo as a junior? Look at the size of him.
Dude, he was one cheeseburger away from being a heavyweight.
And he ate that damn cheeseburger. They gave him the damn title. It just happened during the pandemic.
So could you see something completely out of the box happening, like Zack Sabre Jr. facing Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom?
Well, I do think that it's gonna be some type of crossover element, but I don't know if it's gonna be at Wrestle Kingdom because the show is the next night.
Wrestle Dynasty.
I wonder if so. I wonder if it's gonna be like a tag situation or something where they use Wrestle Kingdom to build to Wrestle Dynasty, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
It doesn't feel right.
That feels
right.
like a road to.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I guess it depends. We don't know what Wrestle Dynasty is, right? Like, how is this being booked? Like, is it AEW versus New Japan on purpose? Like, every match has to be crossover? Like, is this just showcasing matches from each show? Like, I really have to see how this is getting booked. I imagine Jon Moxley will factor in heavily as a former IWGP champion, current AEW Heavyweight Champion, current guy who
that happened.
owns the company.
Dude, that was literally like 4 months ago, and I fucking forgot that happened.
Dude, Jon Moxley don't stop. Jon Moxley's never gone. Jon Moxley's forever.
Yeah. He finally got his 2-month vacation that he was promised before fucking CM Punk.
He's probably fidgety the whole fucking time. He just needed to get back.
Yeah. Doing bulldog chokes on Renee.
Bad technology the whole time.
Wow. So on that same show, Hiroshi Tanahashi announced that he'll be retiring in 2026, January, presumably at that Wrestle Kingdom.
His knees thank him.
The same week as John Cena.
Literally within the same 7 days as John Cena.
The amount of times over the years that those two guys were compared.
Put the shit to the side. Book Tanahashi versus John Cena. You have to.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Been seeing that discourse.
If Triple H allowed that to happen, he'd have my respect forever.
Well, I mean, he's letting Nakamura go to Noah. Like, fucking just let Cena wrestle a New Japan match. Who the fuck cares? He's going to be retired. Like,
they have the Ameba, however the fuck you say the channel. They share a channel.
Yeah.
So they cross over there.
Yeah.
Nakamura is going over there to face one of their main guys. I forgot his name, though. I don't have the graphic in front of me.
I can find his name. Hold on. Let me look.
What were you saying, though?
I was saying, like, man, who cares? Like, you know, Cena's retiring, but he's going to be around. You know, he's going to come out and throw his hat and have a different colored shirt. You know,
he specifically said after he's done wrestling, he will never wear that again.
Oh,
you will
really?
only see John Cena in suits as he is everywhere now. That's probably how he feels comfortable.
So what's he going to come out looking like fucking Gunther when he's doing an interview? Like, really?
Yeah. Did you see him on that? Well, do you see him everywhere? Honestly,
I saw him on Kai Sense fucking thing, dude. That was crazy.
You know, but that's I can see it. He says he wants to retire the uniform. He said he wants to retire like a jersey. So I believe it. I mean, I believe it. I for some reason don't see him coming back. I don't see John Cena as the kind of guy who goes back on the retirement thing for some reason. I don't know what it is, but when he talks about retirement, I don't see it.
It's a finality for him.
Yeah.
Nakamura will be wrestling Oka Sasaki.
I hear a lot of people are fans, so I expect good things. I haven't been keeping up with Noah enough to know any better. So I can't really give
I've never heard of him. Yeah.
I've heard of him. I've definitely heard of him, and I've heard good things. I just haven't seen any matches for myself. But yeah, Nakamura's going over to Noah. Tanahashi is announcing his retirement. The Young Bucks are coming back to New Japan. Tanahashi and Kenny Omega had done a video where they talked about how they wanted to team up at Wrestle Dynasty. And if the Young Bucks are coming back to New Japan and they're currently beefing with Kenny Omega, then one would have to assume that the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and Tanahashi is happening at Wrestle Dynasty or Wrestle Kingdom, and probably for the AEW Tag Team Championships.
Oh boy.
I wouldn't mind that because that gives Tanahashi an excuse to come to America, and I need to get a photo with him before he retires. I've taken a photo of him. Like, I got an incredible photo of him that I love. It's very colorful, but I don't have a photo with him.
Run up to
guess
him.
who
He'll
has
never run away from you.
Hug me, Tana.
Guess who has a
Walking with
picture
Tanahashi.
So I have a picture with Tanahashi, Jushin Thunder Liger. I have a picture with Nakamura. I have a picture with Okada because I went to 2014 War of the Worlds and I got the autograph pack.
I was there. I did not get the autograph package. I stole a selfie with Shinsuke Nakamura. So
that was the show that Kevin Steen called me by my Twitter name when I walked up to him.
Oh wow!
He's like, I know you, and I was like, I don't think you do. He's like, no, you're curbside something. I was like, Hero. He's like, yeah, I see your tweets sometimes. He's like, you're a fucking asshole.
He was right.
No, he was no, dude. No lies being told.
No.
Own it.
But a final couple things we have to talk about this week. One, the creative shakeup in AEW. Jimmy Jacobs.
They're gonna save on the pyro budget now.
Jimmy Jacobs, said to be Tony Khan's right-hand creative man, resigns, citing burnout. He says that he was burnt out. Who knows what that means? You know how these things go. They mean as much as the paper they're printed on. They can mean anything. But he is gone from the company, and I felt like you felt the changes almost immediately.
Right.
There was a report that he wasn't familiar with the product when he signed, so he didn't watch AEW. He was aware of Okada, wasn't familiar with the way he worked or his reputation, I guess, which I find hard to believe because I'm like, aren't you a wrestler? Like, everybody who wrestles knows who the fuck Okada is. What the fuck? Was apparently against pushing Takeshita to the TNT Championship, which is how we got Jack Perry. Was against Daniel Garcia getting pushed at the top of the card. And it's a lot of bad AEW things are being placed on his head. Really.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people even cite, like, you know, the loss of the long-term booking because everyone's like, oh, now that he's gone, look at tonight's Dynamite having those the return of, like, you know, matches being booked like a couple days, if not 2 weeks in advance.
He's also been credited for the loss of the rankings and things like that. So who I don't know if this was a decision they made or if he made it and they're taking advantage and just shaking things up, but I thought that you could immediately feel the difference tonight on Dynamite. The format of the show was different. Like Nick said, they were back to booking weeks in advance, even though I don't think that has so much to do with Jimmy Jacobs leaving as much as just complete criticism lately of the show and how it's been feeling like they've been booking it on the fly, like 2019 Vince McMahon style, rip it up in the morning type thing. So I believe they just wanted to address that on the next pay-per-view cycle anyway. But there was something like, there was just a whole shift in the format of the show tonight. Just the way they placed segments, you know, every fucking thing felt different about Dynamite tonight. And I don't know if that was because it's a it's a post show or what, but we will continue to see that as the time goes on. There was a bit of a breakdown in kind of who's involved in telling creative stories now. I had seen Ibu of Wrestlevotes. I mean, not Wrestlevotes, excuse me. Wrestle Purists kind of mentioned that he had heard who was writing what in AEW, and they had mentioned like the Blackpool Combat Club stories, RJ City, the Mariah May Toni Storm thing was RJ City, and RJ City handles Mariah May right now. Will Washington is credited with this current Swerve Strickland her syndicate thing, which I thought was funny because I was like, they brought Will Washington in as like a creative consultant, but not like a person who tells stories because he's just a fucking fan with the podcast. So it's like bringing me in and all of a sudden I'm in charge of Swerve versus the Hurt Syndicate. Like, so I feel like it's funny that they put his name next to all the people who could tell their own story. Like,
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's like this feels like it's more of them than anyone else.
right?
So can I just say that RJ City is the most underrated signing in AEW history? Because that guy is knocking everything out of the fucking park.
Oh God, everything. He's like one of those really, really, like you said, is really important in more ways than anybody knows.
He's one of the only AEW talents that Jim Cornette went out of his way to praise.
And it probably will get praise from anyone you ask about him.
Yeah.
The AEW show on its own, just as a talent,
Dude, it's
like
fucking hilarious.
perfect.
Yeah. And even too, like the episode where he interviewed Dean Malenko, I love that. Dean Malenko debunked that long-standing lost media of his match with Mystico.
He said it was James
That never
Gibson,
happened.
right?
Yeah, he said
Jamie
we don't
Noble.
even look alike. Jamie Noble, James
yeah.
Gibson.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, James Gibson. Yeah. Wow.
So a couple
because it was
other.
really strange that he would just come out of retirement like
In
3 years
2007.
after. Yeah.
I just want to wrestle, and they're like, "Aren't you dying?" No, not yet. Fucking Mercedes, Chris Statlander, or any Mercedes stories are handled by Jennifer Peppermint, and the current Don Callis family Will Ospreay story is handled by Sanjay Dutt. So you've got RJ City, Jen Peppermint, Sanjay Dutt, Will Ospreay, Tony Khan, and presumably some others. I would like to think QT
Yeah.
Marshall's probably still involved in some capacity.
What the fuck?
Yeah, right.
It was bound to happen eventually.
It
Now,
was
John,
done.
I know that you said I know that you said today that there was a lot of context missing. But what do you?
Yeah.
I want to get your thought on Meltzer in the old Juan this week, saying that the Young Bucks being in charge storyline was dropped because Tony Khan didn't want people, even in kayfabe, believing that the Bucks were making the decisions and that he wasn't making any kind of creative decisions on the fly.
I think, like I said, I feel like that sentence itself just 100% exists without the rest of the context of what goes into this decision like that. Like,
Yeah.
I highly doubt someone just realized, like, oh no, like, I don't want them to think that the Bucks are fucking booking the angle.
Yeah.
Brother, I imagine they did see criticism like that, and they were like, "Oh, now people actually think." Because I see people too. When Private Party lost on Sunday, people were like, "Oh, that's the Young Bucks booking themselves to be champion," and it's like, well, that's certainly not what's happening here. But okay, well, don't you think they have influence? It's like, Jesus Christ, guys, let's pay attention. What up, Hunter? Thank you for joining us tonight in the middle of the night. You the fucking man.
You the man.
But yeah, I see that there has been a change in direction, though, for sure, 100%. I believe that it's just I think that reasoning is missing a whole lot of context or other reasoning that probably exists. Partially the idea that Moxley and company are quote unquote taking over AEW. I don't know if you realized tonight, but they started shifting towards a Elite versus Jon Moxley's crew story at some point, with Jack Perry kind of involved on both sides. Jack Perry has been a part of this story since chapter 1. So I don't believe this is some random shift. I think that when they're telling their stories, they realized we got this Moxley thing going on. What are we going to do with the Elite? Because they were doing the same fucking thing. They were trying to take over AEW too. We're going to go with this. We'll pivot this one. And we'll fucking have them fight each other instead. There's a lot of shit that goes into shifting like that. That's why sometimes I'm like, these people are so irresponsible with the shit that they put out. Because it's like, come on, Dave. You know damn fucking well. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
We know better.
The last thing.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Mac.
Oh, so I was going to say, yeah, there was a scene outside of the ring tonight where the Elite were watching Moxley's group beat the shit out of all of the AEW Rampage guys.
The Rampage team, the OGs.
Yeah, Team Rampage OGs. And, Nick had this, or Matt had this look on his face. He's like, and I think I put in the chat like, "Oh, you guys are real bad guys. Like, we're pretending to be like, yeah, there it is. Yeah, like, oh yeah, how fake bad guys look at real bad. Yeah, that's what I saw earlier. That's pretty goddamn funny."
Yeah, no, for
Rick
sure.
Knox just like,
Listen, I like the idea that they were fucking involved in their own petty bullshit, and then something a lot more serious happened. And they were like, oh shit. Like, wait. Like, we're gonna have to take care of this now. Like, we can't even fuck around anymore. Like, we had all these ideas we were gonna do, but now these guys are trying to kill all of us. So we'll actually have to take care of that instead. But of course,
Jack Perry with his connection to them not being around.
I know there's a couple things there that really made me interested. I brought them up earlier. I forgot Nick wasn't on the show, so you probably didn't hear it. There's a lot of different reasons why I believe this Elite versus Jon Moxley crew thing has been planned from day one. The very first thing Jon Moxley did, his first fucking chapter of this story, when he first returned with Marina Shafir, they walked backstage and they went right up to the Elite at the entrance, and he walked up to Jack Perry and he said, "You know what? I don't care what they say about you. You're a sweet kid." And he walked on past them. And since then, they've never started trouble with the Elite. Even tonight.
And remember, too, the common thread between those two guys at that point was Darby.
That's true. They both hated Darby, but I think it goes further than that. Jack Perry got fucked by AEW entirely. The whole system fucked him. If Jon Moxley and them are mad at what AEW's become, Jack Perry should have been mad at what AEW became before anybody. Like, he got kicked out. They sent him out. He had to fight his way back in. He had to kill Tony Khan to get a job back.
John, that video, that TikTok video, the kid explaining what he thought was going on, that was circulating.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
You know what kid does explain what's going on? Darby Allin, because his father Sting did the same thing in WCW.
He did. Darby is legitimately in Sting's spot right now. The whole company is getting taken over, and Darby is like, he was approached to join. He's like, no, and then they beat his ass, and now he's disappeared.
Killed the guy in front of him.
No, the dude. I'm sure you haven't seen that TikTok, John. I sent it in the the thing. The guy was saying like he's beating up all of these like day one guys that haven't like gotten anywhere in the company in 5 years because he wants them to be better, and he's doing this to because Moxley doesn't believe that Darby Allin's ready, and by doing this, it's going to make Darby Allin step up and take that title from him and be a legit like title contender.
I don't think
look at the amount of
Darby specifically. Though. I think he's got the whole company in mind.
Look at the amount of trios in here, and look at the three guys that have the trios titles. Like, a trios championship has not felt this important in a long time.
There's that. I didn't get to see that TikTok, though. That part of the story I felt like was pretty evident. Like, from the day they attacked Private Party and they laid out why they were doing it. You can apply that context to anybody else that they've attacked so far. The same thing. We want you to get your passion. We want you to get your fire.
And this is the one thing that reunited Action Andretti and the Martins.
Yeah, they're back together. They were beefing, but they're back together. This shit got us fucked up. The Dark Order fired up. The Orange Cassidy's gonna get fired up here.
Dude,
Daniel Garcia.
Fucking John Silver ran after that truck like T1000.
This storyline, it's got a lot of different directions it can go. But yeah, like I mentioned, the Jack Perry connection was interesting. Of course, tonight on Dynamite, the Jon Moxley crew, they fucking walked right by the Elite, didn't touch them. The Elite were very conflicted about whether they should allow this to happen. And Jack Perry had to come out and tell them, no, we're leaving. The next segment backstage, Daniel Garcia is trying to question him. Jack Perry cuts the questioning off. He doesn't want this conversation to happen. Right. There's something very interesting going on between Jack Perry and the Moxley crew.
If you notice too, Okada had several moments like throughout the show where he's kind of like looking at the others, kind of his own type of questioning. And remember too, they cost Okada that title with Danielson.
Yeah, he's not happy with the. He hasn't been happy with it. He flipped him off on that day on his way out.
Plus, remember, he's the one that was at the front of their group tonight. And on top of all of this, Okada's had a thing or two against a lot of those guys in general, anyways. Also, can we take a moment to talk about how Pac wears his wrestling attire while everyone else is in street clothes?
You made me realize that he's actually defended the Continental title against two of them already, Pac and Claudio. This is really good. There's a lot of meat on this. Not only that, but as aggressive as Moxley and his crew have been, and as mean as they are, and as I guess as violent as they are, I still can't find a reason to call them heels yet. I still think they're doing a really good thing. I still believe in their justice. I believe they want to save this company. I still do. That's what makes this so interesting. They're not doing it because they want to take over AEW. We want to destroy the company. They're trying to save this shit from itself. It's very hard for me to consider them the heels when they keep on doing good things.
He actually wrote a book, and he's a type of painter.
He is.
If you guys think you're not getting that on your birthdays, getting that happy birthday bitch meme from Okada, you're wrong.
Happy birthday, bitch.
Yeah.
It's gonna be real fun. I imagine they got to get that Kenny Omega thing out of the way before they can do any real baby facing. But
man, I'm really hoping Kenny's in the Continental Classic this year. Man, am I hoping that.
Brother, he is not going to be wrestling a full round robin tournament off of fucking losing half his asshole. That's not happening. They
said like 20 feet of it?
Yeah, like some insane amount. Like, that's a lot of butthole, my friend.
To be fair, your intestine can stretch very, very far.
It can. So he might have enough left over to be okay, but still not enough left over to be wrestling full round robin tournaments. I don't know if we're ever going to see that. Although it would have been cool. Though that Shelton Benjamin Continental Classic run's going to go crazy.
If he happens to win, I'm okay with that.
Wait until Shelton Benjamin versus Takeshita. Wait. Stop playing. But yeah, so speaking of interesting stories that have to do with Moxley, Bryan Danielson's full-time career has come to an end.
Yeah, John, what was it like being at a fucking murder?
Jeez. Well,
live.
It should say one thing about the live experience is that from the moment Jon Moxley's music came on till Justin Roberts got on the arena mic to say thank you for coming.
Yeah.
No one sat down. Not a single soul. The entire building was on their feet for 30 minutes straight.
Oh, while Bryan was getting attended to?
The whole match. From the moment Moxley's music hit in the beginning,
okay.
throughout the match, through the slaughter, the murder, until the moment they got kicked out of the building. There's not a person sitting down in the arena. But essentially, Bryan comes out, and I mentioned on the Dynamite show a couple weeks ago, I said, the way the story is set up, it doesn't make sense that Bryan can have a nice retirement ceremony at the end of this show. Moxley's got to take the title, and he threatened to kill him. And I was like, they're gonna use this fucking retirement for heat. And
which
of course,
Danielson would want.
It is what Danielson would want. I think that's a lot of. Okay, well, let me just recap what happened for historical sake, and then the essentially it's 20 minutes of Jon Moxley attacking Bryan Danielson's neck, and then he finally chokes him out for out of nowhere victory. Choked out. It didn't tap out, or at least it didn't look like it to us. But he choked him out. Bryce Rensburg calls for the bell. He's got this, oh my God, look on his face like, I can't believe I just had to do that. The building was in shock. What the fuck? Before I knew it, I had just walked away from my seat. I just crawled down to the front of the to the thing. Like, what did I just witness? And then of course there was the murder after the match. The Wheeler Yuta comes out and turns on Darby Allin, and then bags Bryan Danielson. AEW says they'll never show that footage, which is a very, very clever way of saying that we're actually not able to show that clip on national television.
Yeah.
That's illegal.
We went too far with this one. FCC said no.
FCC would not be okay with this.
Put the bri in the bag, bro.
So it's funny. So that none of the graphics can actually show Moxley doing the deed or Yuta doing the deed. I thought that was really cool of them to do. Like AEW will not even post a video of it. Like take it all the way. But
which works on several levels.
It does. But if you didn't see it, they bagged him. They plastic bagged him and then Pillmanized his brain. It's fucking crazy. Like for a wrestler's retirement, like I don't know if in my life I've ever seen a wrestler get killed off forever. Like I've seen wrestlers get killed off and go on vacation. Yeah, I've seen wrestlers get killed off and go, get a surgery. I've never seen a wrestler get killed off
undergrounded
to end his career, bro.
I went to a Chikara show in 2000. I want to say 14 at the Avalon Ballroom here in Revere, Massachusetts. An Estonian Thunder Frog got killed off. They literally killed Estonian Thunder Frog at the end of the show, and his character it never came back after that.
That's what I'm saying. You do that with Estonian fucking Thunder Frog, not Bryan goddamned by God Danielson. But that's what makes this crazy. That's what made that such a crazy thing. That's what I think some people don't understand. I've seen a lot of people saying, this is bullshit. How could you do this to Bryan Danielson? He deserves so much more. And to that, I say, give me a second. I understand why you think that, but maybe it takes a deeper level of understanding. And I'm not a wrestler, but maybe it takes understanding how wrestlers think to understand why this is exactly what Bryan Danielson would have wanted. Rest his soul. But this is beautiful. Honestly, I cannot express to you in words in a way that might make you understand if you already don't how beautiful that ending was. Let me tell you something. They already gave him the gigantic, beautiful farewell. Like he literally just got that 2 months ago at fucking Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
Why would you do that twice? Story-wise, narratively, that's redundant. You don't do that twice. That was never going to happen twice. Sorry to burst that bubble. He had the confetti. He had the moment. His family in the ring, his kids in the ring. They never watched wrestling. They did the moment already. Everything after that is an epilogue. We are lucky to have gotten this little stretch right here that we got. And this ending to that stretch is just beautiful creative freedom that you never would have had otherwise, that you somehow stumbled upon. We already had the moment. We're in an epilogue. We can give this whatever ending we want. You're a fucking pro wrestler. You've been given a blank canvas. Of course.
Rest in peace, Dirk Dick Butt.
Of course. You can just, I don't think that you're if you can't see Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley laughing in a corner somewhere, coming up with the most diabolical fucking ending they can think of, then I don't think you understand.
Their ideas had to be nerfed. There's no way they weren't.
Right? Oh my God. This is definitely not what they came up. They wanted to bring a shotgun or something. Fucking insane.
It was absolutely worse. And it got to the point where TK himself had to be like, we're going to actually never be able to air anything ever again.
Okay, so I think we can do this if we take out the knife and the gun.
Cut the tactical nuke.
I think you guys are forgetting the funniest part of this thing is that 12 hours after Bryan Danielson died, his IG page just randomly put up a story about his new shirt.
Yeah, it was he had scheduled this before he passed away to sell a t-shirt. Like Nick said, this was absolutely a nerfed version of whatever their original idea was, and I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was shocking. I thought it was stunned. It stunned the people in the building. They were like, "What?" They didn't even know if the show was over. There was no way to know until Justin Roberts said to get out. And then people started booing him. No fucking way. Bryan Danielson's career just ended that way. I could tell. As soon as his music hit, and they did the final countdown, and Moxley didn't let it finish. I knew where we were going this night. I was like, oh, this is what we're doing. So it was great. I can't believe I was there for that. And honestly, if he never comes back, I'll be okay, because we got to see him do it all. Every possible thing a pro wrestler could do, want to do, and him in particular. Every weird Bryan Danielson dream that he had, fulfilled. WrestleDream, Arena Mexico, Blue Panther, Zack Sabre Jr., Kazuchika Okada, Yuji Nagata. He got people he didn't even ask for. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we ever need to see him again. I'm satisfied. I'm not sad that my GOAT is gone. I want him to be better and be with his family. Go fix that neck. What did you guys think? Did you like this? Did you hate it at the moment? Did you think, what the fuck is going on?
I think like overall it came down to a mix of what is happening. Like I think my brain instantly went to like, oh, we see what happened with Sting's farewell. It was everything it needed to be pomp and circumstance. It was everything full of, honoring his entire career and having him, come out on top one last time, passing the torch to his sons and of course the son of Darby. And then we see, how messy and gritty Danielson's was. It was literally the exact opposite of everything Sting's retirement was. And I appreciated that about it. And it took me a moment to kind of like sit back and really be like, wow, that murder just literally happened on pay-per-view, and that's how this is ending. And after I slept, and I was like, that was a good ending. I'm glad. Like, it made me interested in everything else going on with the whole Moxley crew and everything like that.
Such a weird vibe. Like, it was so like sinister. Like they like took the title and threw it in the bag. Zip that shit up. Like, we've kidnapped AEW. Like, what just happened?
So can I draw a line between Ring of Honor and what happened at the end of WrestleDream?
Yeah.
So at Death Before Dishonor 6 in New York City that took place on August 2nd, 2008, there was a match. It was Nigel McGuinness defending the Ring of Honor World Championship against Tyler Black, Claudio Castagnoli, and Bryan in a 4-way elimination match. In the match, 5 minutes in, Bryan eliminates Claudio Castagnoli with a small package. Bryan goes to shake Claudio's hand. Claudio hits him with an uppercut, completely knocks him out, then gives him the Upinari water slide. And then, while Bryan is face down on the canvas, puts a chair over his head, goes to the corner, and then stomps on the chair.
Is it the same stomp? That's crazy. Oh, man, you got to send me a video of that shit. That's awesome.
I will. It's actually on Honor Club. I will send it to you. I think I posted it on my Instagram a couple of weeks ago. But
send me the link. I'll post your Instagram right now on the screen.
I can't send it to you right now. I don't know exactly where it is because I post so much on Instagram. I can search for it if you guys and Nick want to talk about something else.
Well, I mean, I think that's a pretty cool connection. Another callback to a good moment in their career.
Yeah, I'll look for it.
There's a lot of those. A lot of those during the match. I thought one of the more interesting things to come out of the retirement was the connection between Bryan and all the Shield members. Just something that went so unspoken until everyone looked back and realized, like, wait a minute. Like, these guys have quite the storied connection. Like, Bryan, that's another thing. Like, Bryan Danielson, like, legitimately the greatest fucking wrestler I've ever seen. And it's so selfless. Oh my God. This dude has put over everybody and just literally helped create the next generation of wrestlers. Look at Roman Reigns. Look at Seth Rollins, fucking Jon Moxley. Yeah. He did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, these were little puppies he helped to raise. Crazy. He chose Moxley to be his final opponent.
Look at the amount of times too that he took on Jey Uso in singles matches on SmackDown. years ago.
I'm saying, you could go back and at any point in Bryan's career, this like you can point out some of the most beautiful things you've ever seen, whether it's the in-ring skill, whether it's the backstage ability to maneuver. Motherfucker maneuvered himself into Vince McMahon's best friend zone. Like he's part of the family. Like and he's still left. My goat. Literally my goat.
Plus, if he ever went back, he says he won't, but if he ever did, he's welcome with open arms.
Oh, you sent me the link? Yeah.
I'm going to.
I think they should be okay with me showing that.
I'm gonna screenshot it and then, or like do a screen record because it's a long clip.
Oh no!
I'm gonna send it to you in maybe 2 minutes.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. You don't gotta do it because it's gonna.
I'm already in the middle of doing it. He's doing it right now.
So shit.
There it is.
I guess I'll do a quick WrestleDream review and then we can go ahead and get out of here. Yep. I did want to pull up this card. Excuse me, Jay Whitehall. AEW WrestleDream 2024. First of all, I had an excellent time. It was an excellent show in full. I feel like the match order kind of made things a little funny when it comes to like how tired we were in the crowd. But we pretty much already talked about the world title match. I'm very surprised looking at the time, like, because it felt like the end came out of nowhere, but it was a 27-minute match. Like, that's a fucking long ass match. It's the longest match on the card.
John, I'm sending it to you right now, and I'll be right back.
All right.
It's on your Facebook Messenger.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. All right. I'll be right back.
Yeah, like I said, like Nick said, it didn't feel like 27 minutes, but it wasn't that kind of match. Like they weren't sitting down in wrestles and shit. They were trying to kill each other for the whole time. Moxley pretty much trying to break Bryan's neck over and over and over again. It was fun. It was scary. He was like, "Oh my god, why is he doing that?"
Snapping his own neck back in place.
There was a dude in the front row who was screaming at him, "He's your fucking brother!"
Yeah,
he was the best.
They showed that on the pay-per-view.
Was it on the pay-per-view? That's great.
Yeah, dude, he had a Ricky Martin shirt on.
That's fucking perfect. He's your brother. He's right, bro. Why are you doing this? But yeah, Moxley and them, they said they're gonna do it for Bryan's own good because you're not gonna be able to stomach what comes next. And if we don't end you, well, you'll fucking come back. We can't have that. And so they ended his career, the career of their own brother. That's who these people are. That's who these sick motherfuckers are. Excellent ending to a show, to this excellent show. They had the pre-show matches. Brian Cage became champion. We saw Rico from WWE fame. Rico.
I was just so thrown off by that. I was like, okay.
Oh, baby, you look
so good to me. Me.
You know, it's either going to be Rico or Chuck Palumbo.
Do you guys remember when Rico and Charlie Haas were the SmackDown Tag Team
Absolutely.
Champions?
That was so good.
Jackie, Miss Jackie.
Yeah, Miss Jackie, yeah. Or Jackie, yeah. Jackie Gator, yeah.
Jackie Gator, yeah, man.
You know what the worst part about that was? So they just did like a round of budget cuts. And because I think this was around the time they were like, oh, let's bring back Brock Lesnar on a huge contract. And they were like, crap, we need to cut one more person. So after they dropped the titles, they released Rico.
That was fucked up. But he did go on to he went back to being a cop, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that. And
Yeah,
you know the thing too was with that giant contract, they never signed Brock Lesnar. Instead, he sued them.
The verdict. So the main show kicked off with Adam Page getting defeated by Jay White, 16 minutes 30 seconds.
Jay White told.
Awesome.
Ooh, afterwards, Rico went to All Japan for a few months.
Did he?
Oh yeah, that's right. He did have an All Japan run. I do remember that.
Gee,
Yeah.
2004 All Japan, a weird place. They had Mick Foley up in there.
At the time.
Oh yeah.
I think like
Mick
3
Foley
weeks
fought
after
for the
he fought
Triple Crown
Orton.
title. Yeah, he
Something
fought
like
for the
that?
Triple Crown. Yeah, Kawada. He fought him for the Triple
Crazy.
Crown title.
That's crazy. The match is probably ass too, but I'll watch it for the historical factor.
Oh, dude, it was a glass of that. It was a glass of ass. I've seen it.
So Jay White and Adam Page opened the show, and I was like, "What the fuck?" But it was an excellent match. About 16 and a half minutes. Jay White smashes Adam Page's leg onto the ramp and injures his knee. And so Adam Page is like, fuck that. I will get this guy again. And the feud wasn't over. This match opening the show was crazy to me. It should have been in the spot where the 2 out of 3 falls match was. And then the Lucha match should have opened this. I think that Jay White and Adam Page could have saved this crowd after the insane triple threat match, which probably also came on too early. But second match,
the whole pacing of this, the whole like match placement just seemed off for this whole entire card.
It was very interesting, but I absolutely loved Buckshot getting countered into the Blade Runner.
That was so sick, so awesome,
so smooth,
and a good win for Jay White. He needed something big like this. Adam Page coming off one of the bigger wins of his career with Swerve Strickland in the cage match. Jay White getting the win off of that. Very good for him. But second match on the card, Mariah May defeating Willow Nightingale in 11 minutes. Another match that was great. I was just like, we're 2 for 2 right now. Willow holding her own. Obviously, this wasn't going to be her night. I just think it didn't make any sense unless you wanted to do like a shock win. But it was still really fun. It was still Willow Nightingale showing what she could do. I think this is her first pay-per-view Women's World Championship match, coming after the Mercedes Moné match, which might be bigger. I don't know.
I think so, yeah.
But 11 minutes. She takes a loss. Fellas, what did you think of the Women's Championship match?
Not terrible. Mariah May really needed a decent match like this, and I think this was something that definitely set up her Women's Championship run for better things. Don't know how much longer it's going to go, but I was glad to also see Willow just get that spotlight.
Yeah, I'm kind of over the whole start and stop with Willow. She'll pick up some big wins, and she'll look dominating. She'll have like a hardcore match, and she'll bleed, and then she'll go to the title match, and she'll lose, and it's like rinse, lather, and repeat. It's like you got to pull the trigger eventually, because as we've seen in the past, you pull the trigger too late, nobody's going to care when it does happen. And I'm not saying that people are not going to care about Willow, because I think people always care about Willow, but the expression a little bit too little too late does exist.
Yeah, and I don't know when she'd be fitting into a women's championship scene, unless Toni Storm comes back and doesn't go after the title, maybe costs Mariah May and they shift that belt off to somewhere else, and then Mariah and Toni can feud without it. But we'll see. I believe that there's room for Willow in any place that they put her. The AEW TNT title match, Jack Perry defeated Shibata in 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Weird. I mean, I guess not weird finish. It was Shibata rolled. He pulled Jack Perry into a choke, and then Jack Perry pins him because Shibata's shoulders were on the mat. And I was like, Shibata should be he should be so experienced. Like, why would this happen to him? He's been wrestling for 20 years. How could he not know that was going to happen to him?
Well, John, I mean, they did take it. They did
for that one.
Right?
I mean, at one point they did take his brain out of his head and put it back in, so maybe there was a little damage done.
That'll do it. It's Shibata gets attacked by Jack Perry afterwards, and then he gets saved by Daniel Garcia, who said he was going to challenge for the title. And then MJF comes out and attacks Daniel Garcia, who then gets saved by Adam Cole. It was a fucking crazy ass.
Right.
I was like, what the fuck?
The moment in the show where like the load is blown, and I was just like, okay, I am so worn out after all this.
Oh, I didn't blow my load just yet. That was about to happen. But these were really fun. This was crazy. I had seen some criticism that maybe made Daniel Garcia seem less important in the moment. I can see that, because if he was coming out for the save, then he would have gotten the spotlight at the end, but he actually just ended up getting attacked again by MJF and then saved by Adam Cole.
And we just completely ignored on like this week anything with Garcia and MJF, because it's all about Adam Cole and MJF.
Exactly.
But at least we got him again later in the night.
We did. Daniel Garcia is here, and
but we also got Adam Cole later.
No, but I was gonna say, at least Daniel Garcia is involved in one of the bigger stories in the company.
Yeah, at least he's doing something, you know?
But yeah, that was that moment on the show, which is kind of crazy. And then it got even fucking crazier. The AEW International Championship Triple Threat.
Definitely where it was blown.
A three-way dance. Fucking Konosuke Takeshita defeats Ricochet and Will Ospreay. 21 minutes. New champion. Absolute fucking insanity. I was losing my mind watching that match.
Honestly,
in person.
I wasn't expecting the swerve at the end, I'll admit.
100%. Fucking Kyle Fletcher comes out, busts Will Ospreay over the head with a screwdriver, reveals himself. You could tell it was him before he took the hood off, because who the fuck wears those weird ass pants? No one. That's who.
He has a very unique hair and build as well.
Yeah.
He does have a very unique build.
He has like easy money kid cash pants. Like, who wears those?
It's crazy. Meanwhile,
like
Takeshita in his
unreasonably
awesome ass parachute pants.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ricochet and Ospreay, they did all the things that they do. I got to see one of their superhero duel spots in person, so I'll take that with me. Takeshita fucked that up. That was also cool. There was the bread basket pile driver thing to Ricochet through the table off the apron.
Jesus, dude, yeah.
He's got some nerve coming on Dynamite being like, I didn't get pinned. No, you got defeated. You got destroyed.
Yeah.
Ended.
You might
for
so you
long time.
You can't say that you've never been beaten because you were in a match where you didn't win.
He beat you.
Yeah. You haven't got pinned, but you were beaten.
After that shit. But yeah, man, Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, they followed up tonight perfectly. So I'm very excited to see Takeshita finally champion and getting the push, the big push.
Absolutely.
God, you see him on Dynamite. Jesus, so sexy. Jesus Christ.
Dude, that hair.
Anyway.
So cool.
Yeah, incredible.
The
honestly,
presence, the aura.
Incredible,
the presence
incredible
is
hair. Incredible
like
aura,
a real life Super Saiyan, bro. I could see the fucking glow.
When he started busting out the English, I was like, okay, this guy's perfect. He's the perfect man.
So we followed the triple threat with the Lucha Libre 2 out of 3 falls match. And what's fucked up is that this match was also awesome, but it came on after. Why is this kind of wrestling match? I don't know how to book a fucking card. I'm not a booker, but I'm not a cook either, and I know when a steak tastes funny. And this was a funny tasting steak. Why was this match
what would
on
you
right now?
It felt like you're getting a steak after your steak.
You need something.
I would have put the women's match after this.
No, God, that's fucked up. No, you needed something that people that's gonna do this. That's gonna do exactly what this did. The reason why this performed the way it did is because nobody's completely emotionally invested in Hologram or Beast Mortos. They're very cool wrestlers, but we just saw a very cool wrestling match, with emotional attachment. So you're essentially giving us that, but missing an ingredient. Like, we just had this sandwich with an extra ingredient. This should have been the first match on the card. You could have replaced this with Jay White and Adam Page, in my opinion.
Yeah. On the pay-per-view, I know they kept popping up the graphic of this is Hispanic heritage, so we wanted to, the important match. For me, it was just a matter of like, we had 3 matches in a row that have big guy that can move, smaller guy that can fly. We had like the triple threat variant of that. Then we had Hologram Mortos, and then we had Darby Brody in a row.
It was a
literally
big
just
night for Goliath.
Steak after steak after steak for me.
That's true too. But I think the Hangman Adam Page match had enough. I mean, excuse me, the Hangman versus Jay White match. People are so emotionally connected to both those wrestlers that they could have gotten everybody back. By the end of their match, people would have really been involved.
Knowing those two, I guarantee one of them or both would have probably just been like, "Yeah, I don't want to follow that match. Like, we'll go first."
Dumbass Tony Khan was like, "Yeah, it's all right." wait, not you fucking dummy. Anyway, Hologram gets pinned for the first time here tonight on pay-per-view during this 2 out of 3 falls match in the second fall. But they lucha the shit out of each other, man. There was some fucking awesome wrestling. Even tired, like even dead tired, I wanted to just scream for everything they did because some of this shit, like watching Hologram do some of that shit in person is insane. How can he do these things? How is he double jumping? Like, I didn't know you can double jump as a human. How are you doing this? Yeah. So they did everything right. It's just that they weren't in the right spot on the card. Like, it's just not fair. I didn't think that was fair.
Yeah. I thought it was also very interesting, the story that they were telling, how Hologram almost had a limit, whereas like Mortos was just getting in his second wind, and it was kind of like the Beast was wearing down Hologram, and Hologram had to just take him out immediately, or else he wasn't gonna take that final, that third fall. I really like that.
They wrestled for so long they were repeating moves at the end. I was like, oh fuck. But yeah, the Hologram defeats the Beast Mortos 2-1, 17 minutes. Fun stuff, very fun. But again, it's weird pacing.
Another big guy in a small man match. Following.
Yeah, Darby Allin defeating Brody King in 12.5 minutes. This one went really fast, and I can see why. It's because they were just doing a whole bunch of fucked up shit to each other, just throwing Darby around, squishing him, slapping him, beating him up.
Yeah, Darby was trying to get away from him. He was trying to fucking murder him.
They finished with Brody King. He gets pushed off of the ring post down onto were you talking about fucking the face of Fox Hologram? Hey, that's actually a good point. What's up, Jesus? By the way, we missed you tonight,
John. Yeah. I don't know if you saw, but Eric Stevens said he wouldn't have taken that bump in a million fucking years.
I did not see that, but you know what?
Eric Stevens goes, that bump sucks with like 4 U's and 3 C's. He goes, I would never take that bump.
Hey, only one of those guys is still on TV. Is the one who would take the bump. Damn, that's fucked up. That's fucking. Logan James is possible Young Bucks Okada turn babyface versus BCC. We brought that up earlier, and I thought that it is possible. It's just not going to happen until after they deal with the Kenny Omega thing. But there's a lot of ways I can go. Speaking of the Young, to finish this off, Brody King gets shoved off the fucking ring post onto the steel stairs. I don't know what it looked like on TV, but I caught video of that shit, and he fucking knocked his noggin on those goddamn steel stairs. Holy shit!
It looked brutal on TV, definitely.
I was like, yo, like you heard the donk, like the whatever sound you heard those stairs make, that was not his body, that was his head. And then Darby hits him with a goddamn coffin drop onto the stairs. And then another to win. But as you mentioned,
I think they said too that was Darby's first victory over Brody King.
First victory over Brody King. I didn't know that.
Or at least in like a singles match.
I did not know that, and I forgot how much they've wrestled each other in AEW too. But yeah, no, 12.5 minutes, good stuff. And we followed that up with the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. They played a video for Private Party. Amazing Red. He was like, fucking,
my goat.
You guys have to do this. You know, you're letting the school down if you don't, blah, blah, blah.
The commentators lied to us. Darby beat him in a coffin match.
I thought so. I was like, that seemed, you know. But yeah, so the Young Bucks come out and they cut a promo and they say Private Party's never gonna be nothing. Fucking suck, mid-card losers, essentially. Private Party comes out, and again, they had this new music, they had a new look, they had this new motivation, and they had this video played before the fucking match, and it was like everybody in the building thought this was it. When he kicked out, when fucking Isaiah Cassidy, Zay kicked out of the fucking BTE trigger, Jesus, I don't know. I came across on TV, but we were losing our shit. This was about to happen.
Everyone thought, yeah, like you said, this is where it happens, folks.
And they do it, and they don't, and they lose clean. I was like, the Bucks didn't even cheat. No, they got pushed to the limit, but they win. They hit him with the they hit the TK driver, and they win 15 and a half minutes. I'm stunned. I was heartbroken. I was like, I can't believe this shit. This is bad fucking booking. But I guess there is a possible story being told here that will culminate with them winning the titles later on in the future. But like, fuck that. I thought this was the moment. I really thought this was the moment. And this, I'm still not convinced that it shouldn't have been. What did you guys think?
I mean, I think the Bucks need their titles to, you know, I think the titles are more an accessory right now to them because, you know, Okada has the Continental Championship and Jack Perry has the TNT Championship. So them holding all of the titles right now kind of, you know, it makes sense because everybody in the group has a title. But
yeah.
Man, if you were going to pull the trigger, it could be here. You could still do it. I mean, I don't like this whole thing of like, oh, you should put your tag team legacy on the line and break up if you don't win for another shot. I don't like that. I just like them maybe just regrouping, get a couple of wins, and then be like, hey, we're absolutely ready.
Honestly, I am okay with that because I still don't know what direction it's going to go. Like, they lost so much that even if they put their tag team careers on the line, I still don't know if they're going to win or not. Like, and normally in some circumstances it would be pretty obvious, right? Like, oh, they're totally not going to lose, you know, like to the Bucks. I genuinely do not know. Like, they might just fucking break them up. But I would not be okay with that. I would hate that, actually. Why would we do that? That'd be such a goddamn waste. That's why I don't believe that's happening. I don't think anybody's that stupid. I really don't.
It is interesting to see that we're once again back to that point where everyone on the Elite side is a champion and everyone on the Moxley crew side is also a champion yet again.
Daniel Garcia being associated with Private Party is actually a great thing. I think that should be explored on TV a lot more in segments and things because you see videos of them and the way they live like outside of wrestling. They're all from New York. They all hang out. They take cheesecake with them. They have the best fucking time of their life. They go to the club. They go to barbecues together. You know, like this is the kind of people that need to be together. The people that actually care about each other. That's what you got with BCC. That's why you got so much good content. I do think Daniel Garcia should be with Private Party more often. And starting next week, it looks like they are. And if they're going to be fighting against Moxley's crew and the Elite, actually, Daniel Garcia is kind of positioned to be going up against both of them. And I would say Private Party is also positioned to be going up against both of them because they got attacked by Moxley's crew first off, and they kind of owe the Bucks right now.
Have been having problems on both sides.
So at the very least, they're still involved at the I guess close to the top of the card as they've ever been. But it was heartbreaking to watch that shit. I was like, fuck that. I don't give a fuck about no logic. This is bullshit. They should have won. But yeah, man, ROH World Title match, 15 minutes. Mark Briscoe defeats Chris Jericho. I didn't hate this, but I also was like, oh wow, this is an interesting time for you guys to be on. I'm kind of tired.
Yeah, it's also just, again, this is the crazy part of AEW's existence is the fact that it's the semi-main event for the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight title with Jericho and Mark Briscoe.
That's pretty wild, right? Like, yeah, that's insane.
Like, dude, just thinking about that like several years ago, and like that's just mind-blowing.
Dude, but when you look at the lineage of the Ring of Honor World Championship, there's not like a lot of discrepancy between like the champions. You got Nigel McGuinness, Bryan Danielson, Roderick Strong, Tyler Black, but the one that sticks out like a sore thumb is Chris Jericho. You're like, what? Wait, that's got to be a misprint. He was, oh my God, there he is with the OG red belt, the Samoa Joe belt. Oh no, what is going on?
The Samoa Joe belt. there's also the famed Ring of Honor Championship that we never really got to see because it existed for 2 seconds.
Oh
in
yeah,
like
the belt that they were
2003.
going to give Joe, and CM Punk stole it.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
That shit looked like it sucked. Why?
God. Oh my God, who is that?
It's Bryan Danielson.
Oh my.
Why did I think that was like Mojo Rawley?
Let me
That's
see that
great.
again.
Actually,
Can
I
see
miss
that again?
Mojo.
Oh man.
He's coming back.
Oh, John,
Don't you wait.
did you get that video I sent you?
That's a good question. I did. I thought I uploaded it already. I did not. We'll play it up at the end of this, at the end of the show right now. But yeah,
Yep.
Ring of Honor World Title match. Chris Jericho ends up losing. Mark Briscoe defeats him, and they are set up for Ladder War
Mhm.
next week. And again, we got really excited for that. Ladder War, man. The Briscoe brothers Ladder War. That's their signature Ring of Honor match. And we're gonna have Ladder War on television. Ladder War
So-
9.
But the Briscoes are 2-2 in ladder wars,
Yeah.
and Jay Briscoe is 0-1 in a ladder war. The Briscoes lost. Oh, no, you know what? The Briscoes only lost once. I think they lost to All Night Express. And
ANX, let's go.
yep, and then they beat. Who did they beat? Oh,
They beat American Wolves, didn't they?
No. They beat God and they beat God a couple years ago in
Gorillas of
Supercard of Honor.
Destiny.
Yep, in a ladder war, and
Guerrilla Tactics.
a shitty skull belt that they gave to Matt Hardy, and he plastered his new veneers on the front of it.
I wish I would have got one now. Like I'm like, damn, I should have got
I
one.
know.
They made replicas too. It was fast though.
So they stripped the title of Jay Briscoe, and they said it was due to
Quote
injury,
unquote.
but of course it was due to the tweets that we won't go into because it's all done. It's all said and done with.
He's
and then
better.
they
He
did
was a
turn-
better person. Damn it.
Oh, dude, he was. He was friends with like drag queens and stuff, So I mean, he got completely over it. But so they stripped the title of him. Adam Cole won it in a tournament, beat Michael Elgin, and then Jay Briscoe came back from his suspension/injury and started walking around with that belt. So at the Supercard of Honor in Las Vegas, they had a match where they had both belts up on the ladder, and the Kingdom interfered in that match, and Matt Hardy interfered and helped Adam Cole become the undisputed Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion.
You know, it's all about the balls.
It's all about
So,
the
man,
budge, baby.
That's our AEW WrestleDream review. It's up there. I have to snip it out, upload it as its own video, but for the sake of doing things the right way, posterity, things like that. Put this logo over Matt. Wow, just like that. Look at you.
Sorry, my father's texting me. My bad.
Hey,
People
So,
will
man-
eventually watch this in a year's time.
we will. So, man, that was our episode of Dirt Sheet Radio for the week. I'd like to thank you for joining us. I also want to remind you that good old Mac and Nick will be doing a Spring Stampede 1999
Let's go. Yes, sir.
WCW review this weekend. Excuse me. Thank you.
Bless
Fuck,
you.
God,
Bless you,
I
sir.
hate tickle.
Breathing
me. I feel
in
like
all
Vince
of-
McMahon.
You're breathing in all of the hay that they had on the stage for Spring
God.
Stampede 1999.
That's a beautiful poster. You keep taking it away too fast, Mac. You gotta put this side by
I
side.
know, dude.
with
I
the
tried to
original
do it earlier.
poster.
I got busy. I'm going to do it right when I get home.
That's
I'm-
incredible.
I'm-
We
I'm
need-
Take Mac's homework.
I'm leaving work in like a half hour. I'll send it to you.
yeah, we're gonna post that as the fucking advertisement. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, if you enjoyed us now, this is not it. First of all, us three will be back together on
Where's
Friday.
the
but
video, John? Where's the fucking video?
It's gonna play us out, Mac.
Oh,
You gotta
okay.
give us a second.
All right.
if you enjoyed hanging out with us tonight, or if you're listening on the way to work and you're like, man, I love these guys. They love pro wrestling. Why haven't I heard of them before? First of all, go to Dershi Radio, follow us. Don't fucking lose us. We're the best.
Yeah.
Second, this is not our only show. That we're on every single night
okay.
of the week.
We're always on?
Always on. Look at that. On Mondays, we're covering WWE Raw immediately after the show. On Tuesdays, same deal for WWE NXT. On Wednesdays, we're after AEW Dynamite. And on Thursdays, we're after Impact. And on Fridays, we're after WWE SmackDown. That's right. And also, Sundays, don't forget to check out our boys, CJ, Tyler, their weekend wrestling roundup, formerly known as NXT Level Up Adventure. NXT Level Up started looking a little shaky, so they'll be moving on and covering all pro wrestling throughout the week. I wonder what that actually entails, because I know they don't have the means to watch AEW. So, like, when you say all pro wrestling, what do you mean? But we will find out soon.
That'll mean something.
Also on Sundays, the 3NT Wrestling Podcast. The boys talking pro wrestling every single Sunday.
Hey.
And then on Wednesdays, you get the Nico Extra podcast. They are on Wednesdays after Dynamite, and then we come on right after them. Actually, just at 7 o'clock. I don't know if my motherfuckers watch Dynamite. I don't think they do. But
our job.
But we do. You know damn well we do, because we love that shit. We love pro wrestling.
We're the sickos.
So if you love pro wrestling, just check out this video right here on our way out, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you for joining us. And if you're an audio listener, sorry there's no video for you, but you get our normal old man outro right here. Bang!
The old man. That was truly a video.
With no sound.